Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here with another brew review because it's Friday evening, time for a beer. I went with another Spanish beer, but as you can see, or you might not see this, but I went for El Águila from El Águila. El Águila is a Spanish brewery, technically founded somewhere in the early 1900s, but we are going to talk about that on a later time. But you might notice the logo and maybe also the way the name is written. El Águila is basically Spanish for the eagle. And you notice me turning this can upside down. So let's jump right into the design and the beer at the same time. This is actually a genius design because this is a unfiltered beer. This still has yeast in suspension. And they want you to turn the can to actually mingle that yeast in, to awaken the yeast, the aromas. And yeah, what better way than to just print your can upside down so people have to turn it over to read it. Now, yeah, this probably is just a gimmick, but it works. So, what is this beer? This is a simple 5%, well 5.5% lager. They call it Lager Especial, a special lager. And I do believe that that is because they used some extra hops and some caramel malts instead of the pale malts. But let's start by reading this can. And I do really have to brush up on my Spanish for this because I haven't spoken Spanish in a very long time. El Águila sin filtrar, elaborada en Madrid, recupera la simplicidad del método tradicional. So, the Eagle Unfiltered, produced in Madrid, and goes back to the simplicity of the traditional method. Nuestra cerveza especial de baja fermentación y ligeramente turbia presenta levaduras en suspensión, testimonio de su carácter puro sin filtrar. So our special beer of low fermentation and low turbidity or light turbidity presents yeast in suspension, which pays testimony to its pure character and without filtration. Esta elaboración dota de gran cuerpo frescor a nuestra lager creada con malta caramelizada y mezcla de lúpulos, perle e lemon drop. So basically this is a very it has a lot of body. It has a very fresh taste and feel. It is made with caramelized malts, so caram malts, and pearl and lemon drop hops. So I'm expecting a very refreshing, rather bitter beer. Girar sin agitar antes de beber para despertar la levadura que conservan las cervezas sin filtrar. Así podrás apreciar mejor toda su intensidad y frescura. Basically what I just said, turn it without shaking it before drinking to awaken the intensity and the freshness of this beer. So I do believe that I have turned it a few times, but I actually really love the simplicity of this design as well. Like, yeah, really an A+ for effort, because it is very simple. I love the color scheme and just the idea of the upside down print. Love it. So let's have a taste, and I really hope that I haven't shaken this too much. And actually I really wanted to compare the two side by side, a turned can and an unturned can, but apparently I only have one. So let's do it right first time. What I immediately notice is that this color is quite a bit paler than I expected, because I did read about the caramelized malts, so I expected it a bit more orangey, let's say. It is rather hazy as expected, of course, and I actually like this degree of haziness, let's say. Some nice white foam, some yellow goldish, yeah, medium pale color, let's say. The foam quite dense, lovely tiny bubbles. So from the looks of it, I would immediately say this is a rather good beer, well brewed beer. Some nice pearling in the glass, nice carbonation as well. I do smell some carbon dioxide, but mainly malts. A bit hoppy, but not that much. It's a bit like bittersweet. But it doesn't smell like the Pilsners we know here in Belgium. This smells a lot maltier, and I have found that a lot of the Spanish beers are a lot maltier than ours. We also see that as the foam dissipates, that this half centimeter really stays on, and it still is quite dense, quite nice tiny bubbles. So yeah, no remarks there. Now I do know that in some regions, like in Alicante, Calpe, that El Águila is quite a big name. Well, it is from Madrid, so yeah, that's not in the vicinity. But yeah, it is quite a big name, and a lot of businesses also have it on tap, for example. So yeah, as expected when reading the can, it is quite bitter, slightly dry. Actually, a beer the way I like it. And for a lager, so a Pilsner style beer, I actually really like this. I don't like the sugary beers. And that's also what they meant with the low turbidity, which is actually low gravity. So with a lower degree Plato and a lower alcohol content. 5.5, I would say that they brew this around 13 degrees Plato, which means not a lot of sugar is left in there. And then the combination of the pearl and lemon drop hops makes it quite bitter and dry, and slightly fruity, because I do get some lemon zest or some grapefruit zest in the taste, which is also quite nice. So all that actually adds up to a very, very refreshing beer, as one would expect in a warm climate like over there. So yeah. Also a very full mouthfeel actually. Um, Probably because it is a quite malty beer. And the carbonation is just right, so not too heavy, but also not too flat, not too thin. So yeah, perfect mouthfeel, nice bitter dry taste, lovely hop concentration. Because of the bitterness, the aroma stays, while it lingers on quite long in the back of the throat, the roof of the mouth, even the nasal cavity, which is, by the way, why we swallow during tasting and don't spit like wine tasters. But it lingers on quite a while, and I also like that characteristic in a beer very much, especially when it comes to refreshing beers, to thirst quenchers. And this is a very, very thirst quenching beer. Yeah. Now, I do like the Spanish lagers, I always have. But in terms of lagers, when scoring this beer, I would say this is let's call this a 3.5. Because all in all, it's still a lager, but it's a damn good one. So, yeah, 3.5 in Untappd, so 7 out of 10. Very nice. Now let's leave it at that. I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes for the past few months. And as usual, if you guys like this, hit the thumbs up, let me know, leave something in the comments. Also, if you have any questions, remarks, do so please. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell icon as well so you'll get notified as soon as I upload anything, which should be every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6 o'clock. Until after the weekend, cheers you guys.